Now, apparently I've been told that there are people out there that just want one great watch. But can you really get a watch that can go anywhere, do anything, and really last you the test of time without breaking the bank? Or is coughing up thousands just part of the experience? But I honestly think, regardless of your budget, there are watches out there that you will never get sick of, that will last you your lifetime, and they don't cost an arm and a leg. And well, if we're going to have just one watch, we might as well start at the top. Now, you probably already know that Rolex equates to 1/3 of all Swiss watch revenue. And the reality is, if you're considering purchasing a Rolex, whether it be as a one and done watch or just another watch to add to your collection, nothing that I say in this video or any other videos is going to ever change your mind. But for a one and done collection, you can't really go far wrong, if I'm completely brutally honest, with the Submariner or the GMT Master 2. But why not the others? Well, in my humble opinion, I feel like the Explorer is a little bit like a more expensive Oyster Perpetual. Now, I think personally the Datejust is another potential option, but I mean, at the end of the day, if it's just a little bit more formal, especially if you have a Jubilee bracelet and a fluted bezel, you know, you're going to struggle to wear that every day, right? It doesn't really fit an everyday aesthetic. I mean, if you're able to get those from an AD, or if you're spending that amount of money on the grey market, then let's face it, you're not a one watch person. So, you know, are you really going to just have that particular watch on its own? I don't think so. Now, the Submariner, arguably, with its brush bracelet, is a little bit less formal. However, potato patata, you know, one man's formal is another man's casual. So I don't know, man, wear what you want, but I think that those two timepieces in particular could be great one and done watches if you're looking to kind of end your collection with a Rolex purchase. But what if you don't want a Rolex? What if you want kind of that feeling of Rolex, but without the crown? I guess if you've got like Rolex money, which is like what, 10 to 15, 20K, and you want to buy a one and done watch, but you don't want to do the stupid AD games, and you also don't want to pay a premium on the grey market, you're kind of in a super strong position because there are so many brands to choose from. And I guess if you wanted a watch that was really going to last you the test of time, and you never had to worry about getting another watch again, these are probably the brands that I would be thinking about getting. Now, I'm not actually a fan of Breitling specifically. I would never buy a Breitling, but although the brand has kind of lost its way a little bit, I do think they are very loud, very bold, and they make some great timepieces. The thing about Breitling is you can't really miss them. Like, you can love them and you can hate them, but you can't say that they're not distinctive, right? Again, I'm not a fan of them personally, but if you like that sort of thing, then wear what you like, right? The Chronoman in particular is kind of unapologetic, right? You know, it looks well built, it's kind of sporty, aviation inspired, masculine. It looks powerful, like it looks like it will last a lifetime. And again, if you like that sort of thing, if that's kind of your style or if it just suits you, then you don't have to play any AD games. And you probably save a little bit of money as well, which is the best part. So yeah, lifetime watch for less money, less stress, less wait time. Yeah, job's a good one. Now, if you want a really great value tool watch, there's only one real brand that you go to. To be completely honest, if you want complete grounded value, like value, right, in the luxury Swiss watch sector, what's the first word that comes to mind, or the first name of a brand? It has to be Tudor. Tudor delivers in ways that not many brands can, to be honest, at that price point. And the Black Bear isn't even trying to be a cheaper Rolex. It stands up on its own 2 feet. It's a modern heritage diver with real character and real presence. Now, the thing that I really like about the Black Bear is it's purposefully, beautifully executed, and it kind of feels like a watch that needs to be worn. It wants to be worn every day. It wants your wrist time. In terms of value for money, I don't actually think anything competes. The thing is, you don't wear a Tudor to show status, right? I think it's the one watch that actually costs, you know, a fair bit, but at the end of the day, if you see someone wearing a Tudor, you know that they kind of appreciate the engineering behind it and the fact that the pieces, especially the Black Bear, have been tested to a really high degree. So you know for a fact that it's going to be like a real workhorse, and it's never going to really let you down. Hopefully not, touch wood. But at the end of the day, it's built for life. And if we're thinking about getting a one and done watch, the Tudor Black Bear has to be in there somewhere. By the way, if you're watching this video and you're enjoying it so far, then maybe consider subscribing because we've got tons more content to come. Also as well, please leave a little like, just lets me know that I'm doing something good. And also as well, if you ever want to add anything to the conversation, because these videos are very much a conversation, pop a comment in the comments and I will continue with the rest of the video. Cheers. Now, if you want to watch that feels modern, artistic, and it's kind of like the Underdog from Japan, people always kind of put it underneath Rolex and Omega and lots of other brands for some reason, but you kind of have to put Grand Seiko in the equation somewhere. And to be honest, Grand Seiko is kind of like the really subtle flex that only enthusiasts really appreciate. Like the Evolution 9 sports models are, you know, if you're looking for a one and done watch, you're pretty much set with anything from that range. Especially something with a spring drive, you're getting something that is going to last the test of time. Yes, okay, you might need to get it serviced a couple of times, but ultimately, you're getting something which not only is going to last a long time and it's really beautifully made and you can really see the craftsmanship and the polishing and the attention to detail, but you're getting something that's really fucking cool in terms of engineering as well. Even just the innovation with the spring drive and the movement, like nobody's doing anything like this. Like I don't understand why they don't get more praise, but I think if you take some time, no pun intended, and just do a little bit of research, I think you could find something which you would really appreciate and you get an absolute bargain at the same time. Now, the next brand, Omega, is kind of like a running joke in the circles on either Reddit or Instagram with Rolex, where people basically say that if they go into a Rolex boutique and they basically get told that everything's exhibition only, they literally walk over the street to the Omega store and buy an Aqua Terra or whatever. And I actually did pretty much the exact same thing when I was considering Aqua Terra. But at the end of the day, Omega is not secondary to Rolex. You could argue that they are in some cases, but in terms of build quality and value for money, they're on par, if not better. You know, you've got the Aqua Terra, you've got the Speedmaster, you've got the Seamaster, you've got so many variations within just those three categories, and there's more outside of those. You know, you've got so much choice, and I think that is one of the benefits of choosing an Omega watch. Now, if you want to be really smart with your money and you don't want to spend thousands on a watch, which is a very understandable thing to say and to think, you're not out of luck. There are tons of other options which don't have to cost above, you know, $1,000, $2,000. Now, a really nice watch, which I think is pretty good value for money as well, and again, these are kind of on par with Tudor, to be honest, the Zulu Time by Longines. And that's simply because the Spirit Zulu Time is kind of a traveler's watch, but it also has history, it looks well made, it is great value for money. And also, it just has really great specs. Like, it not only looks decent, but it also has the weight to back it up too. Now, for the sub $1,000 category, this is where things get a little bit tricky. You start to find watches that are pretty inexpensive to buy, but to maintain over the long term, they're going to cost a lot of money. It's kind of like buying a brand new watch at a point. And to be honest, if I'm looking at under $1,000, I'm probably going to go Japanese. I'm probably going to go Seiko. To be honest, pretty much any model that they have with SPB in front of the actual model name, you can't go really far wrong. And then it just basically comes down to your aesthetic preference. Do you like the look of the watch? Which, you know, that's kind of down to you. Now, this reference line is really where Seiko starts to really push higher quality cases, you know, upgraded movements with the 6R35 and just better finishing. And the more serious enthusiast great execution. Like if you're an enthusiast and you like watches and you know watches, you're going to see a considerable difference with that model range as opposed to the lower model ranges. Just the finishing overall, how it feels in your wrist, the comfort, the reliability of the actual timekeeping, everything just kind of just brings up the experience just that little bit better. Now, for someone who likes going outdoors, the Hamilton khaki is always going to be there. It's kind of a no-brainer. But there are other brands out there which do offer really great value for money, and then they're just more fun watches. You're not going to see these watches on people's wrists every day. And if you're looking for something which is a little bit more quirky and original and limited and not as kind of mass-produced, then you can look at some brands like, for example, Fia's Studio Underd0g, which have done some really cool collaborations recently with the Manhattan and the Mimosa. The Manhattan looks really, really nice. And there's also as well Mr. Jones, who does some really cool, fun, quirky watches, which again, isn't really my style, but it's definitely something that, you know, can be a conversation starter. And then if you kind of want that stealth wealth where you don't want to spend a stupid amount on the watch, but you want the same aesthetic as kind of like a Nautilus or a AP Royal Oak, or, you know, something that kind of feels like it's more expensive than it is, then you're looking at kind of the Manhattan from Maine. Also as well as Strom, who have some incredible dials, which if you saw some of their previous original dials, they're really, really beautiful. Now, another brand that just literally came to mind is the German brand Sinn, which, you know, it's kind of like the enthusiast choice. Like Sinn is very difficult to hate. Nomos as well is also a very, very nice brand to look at as well, another German brand. So there's tons to choose from, all at different price points, depending on your personal preference, how much money you have to spend. So if you have a lot of money to spend and you want to buy a Rolex and really have something to, kind of pass on to the next generation, for example, or whatever you want to do, then do that. But you don't have to. That's the great thing about watches. That's the thing that I love about watches. It doesn't matter what your budget's at. It doesn't matter what your personality is. Buy what you like. Don't spend more than you can afford, and you're good to go. So after all that, what's actually the secret to getting a really great one and done watch? And the truth is, I think it's less about the actual watch and it's more about you and, kind of the life that you live ultimately. I mean, I've got a mate who literally has a G-Shock. He doesn't wear anything else. He just wears his black G-Shock, which he got from his dad before he sadly passed away. And he's happy with that. He doesn't need any other watches. Why the fuck does he need another watch? He's got the watch that his dad gave him on like his 16th or 17th birthday. Every single day he gets to wear that watch as kind of like a testament to how much, he appreciates his dad and everything that he did for him. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. For me at least, anyway, that's kind of what watches is about. But that's just my humble opinion. What do you think? Do you connect stories to the watches that you wear, or do you just think, I like the watch, it looks nice? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments, and I shall see you in the next video. See you soon.